This skit is based on a missionary doctor, David Livingston, who traveled to Africa in his missionary work. The story begins in the middle of 19th century. David Livingston, a Scottish doctor and a missionary, prepared to embark on his mission to Africa. His work would inspire generations, including a young man named John, who's eager to follow his footsteps, even every minute.
Mr. Livingston, why do you choose Africa? Why do you risk so much for a place so far from home? Considering your health, you can serve here in Europe.
John, it's not about where we are, but whom we serve. African people need hope, medical care, and the message of love. This journey is for them.
Mr. Livingston, I want to serve too, but I don't know if I can do what you do.
John, the journey is long, but it starts with a single step of faith. You will learn that serving others brings its own strength. Perhaps one day you will carry on the work. With these words, Livingston set out his journey, unaware of the full extent of the impact he would have not only on the African people, but on those who would come after him. After months of travel, Livingston found himself deep in Africa among the people he sought to serve. He began his ministry by treating the sick, addressing their needs, learned their ways, and shared his faith through action more than words.
Why have you come here? You don't know us?
I came to help where I am needed. You're not strangers in the eyes of God. He loves you just as much as He loves me.
You have faced many dangers here. Why do you stay?
I stay here because my work is not finished. I believe that through service, healing, and understanding, we build a bridge between our people and God's love. Livingston's mission was clear: to show that service and compassion were the true ways to reach people's heart for Christ. And the African people began to trust him as they saw his unwavering commitment to their well-being. Meanwhile, back in Europe, John followed Livingston's journey closely, reading his letters and reports. As he learned about the missionary struggles, the triumphs, John began to feel the same call to serve. Mr. Livingston, news has come from Africa. Sorry to say that David Livingston had passed away.
Livingston? He's gone?
Yes, he was found dead in a small village, on his knees in prayer. The people who loved him buried his heart in Africa. John's eyes filled with emotion as he read the letter. Livingston had often spoken about the deep love for Africa, but to hear that the people had honored him in such a way moved John to his core.
His heart buried in Africa.
Yes, his body is being returned to England, but they refused to part with his heart. They said it was where it belonged.
I remember now. He told me once that a true calling is not about where you are from, but where your heart is. His heart was with the people of Africa.
It was then John realized the depth of Livingston's sacrifice. He had given more than just his time and energy. He had given his heart, both physically and spiritually, to the people he loved so much.
Livingston gave his heart to Africa. It's time I gave mine too. I think it's time for me to go to Africa.
Inspired by Livingston, John traveled to Africa to continue the work that Livingston began years before. He knew the challenges would be tough as they stay, but he also remembered the lesson his mentor had shared.
David Livingston gave his life in service to this land. He taught me that to truly help people, we must walk alongside them, offering care and love in equal measure. I'm here to continue his work.
Saying this, John started to serve the African people in the ways he can, by providing their needs, sharing what he brought, treating the sick, and sharing the gospel of Christ to them. His journey had begun just as Livingston laid before him. Why have you come? You don't know us.
I came to help where I'm needed. You are not strangers in the eyes of God. He loves you just as He loves me.
Speaking the same words of Livingston, the seed that Livingston planted through his life of service had taken root in John. And today, John has set apart his life to bring hope and healing to those in need through mission. Livingston always remembered that harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. In his mission, he showed that the greatest harvest is the transformation of lives through love and sacrifice. Now, John and others who were inspired by him carry this mission forward. And the call to serve still echoes today. And the question remains for each of us. Are you willing to give your heart for the harvest? Will you step forward and answer the call to serve those in need?